So, we continue in the Kuzari today. Now, this class cannot and will not function normally until Saxton shows up. Every time you wait till we start the video and then Saxton has to walk in. Say hello to Hanan for us. Thank you. How's Eitan doing, guys? I heard he's not feeling well, but I haven't seen him in a couple of days. Does he have a roommate here?
Yeah.
So he's going, okay. Don't said it. Here we go. So we are in the third treatise of the Kuzari. And in the Kuzari, the rabbi is explaining to the king what is the function of a Jewish leader. Now, there are folks who say, Rabbi, I'm not Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm not a leader, I'm just a simple person. What does that have to do with me? Well, first of all, you all are leaders of your own lives. You are your own CEO, Chief Executive Officer. You decide what you do, you decide how you do it, you decide when. It's all you. And there's a basic principle. How do you judge a CEO if he's good or not? Just asking those of you, I'm sure you guys studied business. You're a lawyer, I'm sure you got ideas about this.
The company makes money.
If the company makes money, good. That is called if the company fulfills its mission, right? If I have the mission is a non-profit organization, which your parents run a non-profit, right? They throw money at you and they're not making any money off of you. It's called a non-profit, right? When you're in yeshiva, in an extent, you are a non-profit. You're not making money. That's not your mission. But you have to have clarity in what the mission is. The way that you judge success is if a person meets the goals to get the mission accomplished or not. And so, any stage of your life, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I trying to achieve? What are my goals? What is my mission? Why do I exist? Is it just to come in the morning at 9:30 and hear Rabbi Geffen teach me halacha, and that's it? Okay. Is my whole purpose of life learning Torah? Or is Torah a kli, a tool, a vessel for some greater purpose? Which is what? Get girls. Why are you laughing? You don't think I can get girls? Look at this, from AliExpress. What is the purpose of learning Torah? Yuda, you came here to learn Torah. You told me on the phone. No?
You got to figure that out, Rabbi.
Ah.
To become a vessel to share God's wisdom.
So you want to receive the Torah in order to share it with others.
Not just the Torah, but like mitzvos and godliness.
So the mission of learning Torah is to connect to Hashem. Or that the purpose of Torah is to become holy. And now the question becomes, and this is the beginning of Mesilat Yesharim, what's the purpose of achieving holiness? Is to ultimately be connected to Hashem. That's what we're here for. The purpose of our existence is to be connected to Hashem. And to the extent that we purify ourselves, that we guide our lives in a particular direction, in a particular way, that's is going to create the connection to Hashem. And now judge yourself. You don't need the rabbis to do this for you. Are you accomplishing the mission? Or are you meeting the goals that you set for yourself? You need to set the goals for yourself. Your rabbis in Mechina have a set goals for every person. We want you to attend classes. We want you to be nice to others. Don't bite, don't pull hair. Right? By the way, Hanan, if any of them invite you to be a shower buddy, it's a trick. There's no shower buddies here.
What? I'm showing a shot. That's all it's at.
That's why we had that conversation earlier about not touching each other. Now you ruined Saxty. Now he's gonna be in Ben Yehuda's like, you Saxty? You? They'll tell you, take us to your leader. Because they don't want to meet. So Rabbi Yehuda Levi says the whole purpose is for us to get control of ourselves so that we guide our lives. Don't wander aimlessly, hanging around, hanging out. Hanging out leads to leitzanos. Do you know what leitzanos is? Joking around, making fun of things. Then leads to lashon hara. You start speaking about things that you probably shouldn't. And then somebody whips out his phone. Oh, I got to show you this video. And then you're watching things you shouldn't probably watch. And then you go to sleep late, which means you don't really wake up in the morning on time. And then you're sort of in a different world. How does he know this stuff? It's not rocket science. It's pretty simple. So Rabbi Yehuda Levi says that a pious person works on himself in order to reach a level of being a chassid, a pious person. The Ramchal has one level that is called a tzaddik, and there's a higher level being a chassid. A tzaddik is something that everybody needs to be. The Rambam defines a tzaddik, somebody whose mitzvot or merits are greater than his demerits. A rasha is somebody whose bad deeds outnumber, either in quality or quantity, his good behavior. Simple. That's a rasha. And a tzaddik is somebody who, tzaddik doesn't mean that never sinned. You're okay. You could be a tzaddik. Just stop doing that. It's embarrassing. But somebody who's pious is a higher madrega than a tzaddik. Higher. And so, he works on himself, and his goal is to connect to Hashem in the highest level that he can. And so he says, the chassid is he who leads his city or his kingdom and provides food for all the residents of the city and treats everyone with justice, doesn't steal from any of them, and doesn't give someone more than he deserves. And since he manages them this way, all of the residents of the city are ready to serve the leader whenever he needs. So the king says, why are you describing a king, a political leader? I'm asking you to talk to me about somebody who's pious. Why are you giving me a political spiel? Do you know what the word spiel means? Story. So he says, a chassid is he who is in full control of himself. He controls his thoughts, controls his words, he controls his actions, he controls what goes into his mouth, and he controls what goes out of his mouth. He controls his eyes. They don't look at things that don't need to be seen. He controls his ears. How? He plugs them. When he hears nourishkeit, things that he doesn't need to hear, in Mishle he says, he who controls his spirit is greater than a conqueror of a city. You want to prove something? You don't prove you're a man by beating people up. You prove you're a man because you have self-control. That you're not impulsive. Animals are impulsive. They can't help it. Remember the story of the scorpion and the frog? No, there's a scorpion who wants to cross the river. And he sees a frog, and he asks the frog, could you take me to cross the other side of the river? And the frog says, yes, but don't sting me. And he said, okay. And as the frog jumps, and then all of a sudden, it stings. And the frog says, now we're both going to die. He says, yeah, but that's what I do. I'm a scorpion. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. There's a Kuzari Rebbe. Ever heard of the Kuzari Rebbe? He had a beautiful, deep idea. You are you because I am I. And if you are you because I am I, then I am I because you are you. And if I was I because I am I, then you can be you when you are you. You're just like, write that on the board, Rabbi. Sometimes you let other people let them define who you are. For example, you grow up in a certain neighborhood with certain friends, and they have a certain vision of who you are. And they don't let you change, because you're always that guy. So you are what you are because they are who they are. But they are who they are because you are what you are. But when you're not who you are because of them, but you are who you are because of you, then they also become who they are because they're not looking at you. Some people avoid looking in the mirror. They don't want to know who they truly are. They have a certain persona. I'm a rabbi. I am a Dr. Matalon. I am this, I am that. But who are you kidding? At some point you have to look in the mirror and say, I know who I am. I need to work on this. I need to work on that. This is really good. That is really good. Like I saw something today that blew me away. Saxton got himself the main position, got his Gemara, and he's explaining away. That was amazing to see. Really, mamish. Because you can. You have it. It took how long? But you got it. Rabbi Yehuda Halevi here in the Kuzari is telling us about our responsibility to ourselves. We have a responsibility to steal a slogan, to be the best that we can be. And the best that we can be, sometimes, we think, I don't have to be what my parents want me to be, or my rabbi wants. No, be the best that you can be. You, for yourself. You're going to have to live with yourself. After 120 years, you'll stand before Hashem, and He'll show you all the opportunities that He gave you, and He'll ask you, what did you do with them? I sent you to Ohr Somayach to learn Torah. What did you do with it? I gave you that opportunity. I gave you eggs, meat, all this wonderful stuff in this world. What did you do with all I gave you? Why I didn't want to eat it? Gemara. It's a Gemara. We will have to live with the consequences of our actions. And if you stop yourself now and control the spirit, as Rabbi Yehuda Halevi is saying, take the accounting of you are a governor of a town, which is your body. You run the show. You run the arms, you run the legs, you run every single part of your body. Manage it. Don't react. Give each part of the body what it needs. You need 8 hours of sleep, then give your body 8 hours of sleep. Give it. It needs good food, then give it. It needs to just zone out a little bit, then give it. But be mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing. And so he says, he controls his body exactly like a king controls his kingdom. And you have to block urges. We all have urges, right, Moshe? That's why we keep you locked in yeshiva. Otherwise you'll end up like Saxton. Can't let him out anymore. After that little incident in the shuk. The police sent the video, by the way. We have to have control. You have to have food in measure, drink as much as is needed, wash yourself, control your anger, control your emotions. There are some people who love winning arguments. Have you ever met a last word freak? They have to have the last word. They have to. And those people are the most fun to argue with. Because when they say something and you say this next, and then you're like, no, they have to say something. And then tell them, don't be a last word freak. Shut up, man. Like, told you, just let it go. What do you think? You want a shidduch with a last word freak? You're thinking about it. Yeah, well, you'll take a shidduch with anything. You've been here for a year. You're ready to date a telephone pole. I mean, you're going to shower with him, you know. I mean, he's good looking, but come on. You could do better. I don't think he likes you putting your arm around him. I'm just kidding. That's how they start. Very subtle. One of those.
They told me yeshiva looking like this.
No, they did not. I don't know who did, but. So, says Rabbi Yehuda HaLevi, you have to control your tongue, your legs, your hearing, your sight. You have to work on your mind. Controlling your mind means that you understand when the imagination is working, when your seichel, your intellect is working when your memory is involved. You have to understand that you're making bechira choices, that it's a choice. We are a complex organism, but you have to get control of your organism. If you don't have the neshama control your goof, your body is going to take over. And the body is it's like you're riding a tiger. If it gets away from you, you're finished. And sometimes they show you, I saw a video in a certain town in America, I don't want to mention its name, that people were overdosing in the streets, just near, the car, the people are, not only it was San Francisco, but since you forced me. It was terrible. And I said to myself, that's exactly where the body took over. And the body has no limits to pleasure. It wants more and more to a point where, even if it self-destructs, it doesn't care. And it's not the first time in history, in human history. Just read about the opium wars in China and what, opium did in China for people. Yes?
Would you say that these concepts of like self-control and balance within your body also translate to basically every other part of Torah, Judaism, mitzvos, as well as like the idea?
Well, it's a prerequisite for Torah and mitzvahs. If you don't have control of yourself, you can't keep the Torah. Right? If you're on a seafood diet, right, that what you see is what you eat, then this isn't going to go well. If you are about amassing fortunes with no self-control, then you're going to violate lots of principles in the Torah. Not only of theft, but on gnevas das, of stealing people's minds by tricking them, being dishonest, by lots of other Torah prohibitions. And if you are pursued by taiva, right, sexual desire, and you can get into a whole lot of trouble, which we see. I think our generation's the most difficult aspect is, unfortunately, the sexualization of the children at a very early age. And that it's everywhere you look, everything is sexualized. Everything. You can't look at a magazine, you see a commercial for a watch, and there's a girl that's having, wow, it's a watch. Who cares what she looks like? Show me the watch. And besides, with this whole idea of the gender questions and people, and in children, they can't make decisions. We don't allow them to make decisions legally. And we push them into these situations, and then we provide them body-altering drugs, and then we see the suicide rate.
When we do Mitzvah Hashem, get control of ourselves.
Start now. Not when. Just, yeah.
So to say, would that take our body to be like a rocket booster, hand in hand with our neshama? So then our avodas Hashem within everything that we're doing. Now that we've kind of got our body and everything under control, it's just working a lot stronger.
Well, yes. The reason I'm sort of pausing is because of the metaphor you're using. So I use different metaphors than you. That's what I'm trying to evaluate whether could there be an implication of your metaphor that I wouldn't agree with. That's what I was trying to do. So wasn't that, I thought what you said wasn't 100%. The body is a tool. It's called a kli. It's a kli for the neshama. And if the neshama can control the body, then it uses it to achieve its goals of what? Increasing kedusha, adding more light, more spiritual power, and then through the body the neshama shines. So if that's what you mean, then yes. Yeah. So, any other questions? Yes, Alan. Nothing. Very quiet today. No, I can't even get you to smile. Now, if I don't see teeth, I'm not continuing. No? Oh. I had to try. I like it better that way. Without a hat. Looks good. Tov. So, once the chassid, the pious person, gives the body what it needs. The body needs exercise, needs rest, needs food, needs all these things. Now, we all have different levels of needs, correct? Correct? One person, 3 gallons of pistachio ice cream would be way too much for them. But for others, that's like a minimum. How could a person live without it? Obviously, there needs to be, there's differences among us. Some people need a lot more sleep, just naturally, and some people don't. So that has to be factored in. But the body has a natural tendency for excess, more. It wants more. You have 2 bowls of cholent, it wants a third. Then later you're waddling back to bed, And you don't feel well because you ate too much. But you think when they give you, they call you for dessert, you're not eating, there's always room for dessert. Always room for dessert. So obviously we're not talking, that's not control of the body. That requires control. Now, once you achieve this level, then the body will do what you want. When you tell the body it's Shachris, it's time to get up to daven to Hashem, boom. You get up and you're ready to go. When you want to fast on Yud Zayin B'Tammuz or Yom Kippur, the body plays along and you are okay. And so you will have less resistance to spiritual things. In the beginning, the body resists. It doesn't want to play along. I was on the bus Thursday, going home. The bus was full. Wall-to-wall people. And a soldier comes and asks to sit next to me. So, Vakasha, please. He said he's sitting down. And I, for those of you who don't, I have a seder where I'm learning Gemara on the bus. Okay, that's what I do. I try not to talk. I try not to waste time. I sit and learn Gemara. So he looks over and he says, what are you doing? So, I have to be nice. So what do I tell him? I'm learning. He says, what are you learning? So I said, I'm learning Gemara. He says, oh, teach me. It's like Newman, So I said, okay. So now I have to give a shiur on the bus to a soldier. So I picked a Masechet, we opened, we started learning, and we're learning all the way from Yerushalayim to Rehovot. Baruch Hashem. And when we get to Rehovot, he tells me that it's very hard for him to put on tefillin. And I was trying to understand why. What's so difficult about putting on tefillin? Is it physically difficult? Is it I'm asking you guys. I'm trying to understand. Is it physically difficult? Is it heavy? No. Is it painful?
No.
What do you think was the problem?
Mental.
Not physical. What was the mental? But he wanted to put on tefillin. He said, I want to do it, but I just can't. Time management?
It's very difficult for me to put on tefillin.
Why?
I don't know. It's really just there's like some kind of mental block a little bit there.
Scared of what? You think the leather is you're going to turn into Madonna? You don't know what you're doing. I'm sure there were other instances of your life you didn't really know what you were doing, but you went with it anyway. He's like, don't tell her that. Hanan, that's mechina. I hope you're getting the style. Is that what you were looking for?
Sure.
Just the only difference is there's less l'chaim here than the other place.
Have to adapt.
So what's the block? So you say it's mental. But what's the mental? What's
spiritual?
that the spirit doesn't want you to do it?
No, your spirit wants to do it, but the physical could be a variety of factors like the stuff you were talking about. The lack of self-control, the lack of whatever.
So when things start not to make sense, you have to remember that we all have this little friend inside us called Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara, evil inclination. Where you want to do something good, and it comes and says, don't do it. For example, it's a very simple example, nothing to do with tefillin. Sometimes, I want to say something nice to somebody. But the Yetzer Hara says, okay, just leave him alone. Don't say anything. Do we compliment as much as we should? Do we use good words to say, you see somebody doing something good, you go, hey, kol hakavod, Yuda. 12 o'clock. Saxton, kol hakavod today. Tuvia, keep smiling, Baruch Hashem. Yitzchak, keep me on task. Alan, don't be so bored. Menda's like, do me, Rabbi, do me. That's every feeling. Every guy's like, why am I being nuts? Why is he saying my name? Right, Yosef? No. Just leave me alone. Say nothing. Does your father watch this?
I don't know.
Tell him to watch today. Okay. There is a Yetzer Hara, my friend. The Yetzer Hara's whole point is to make it difficult to do mitzvot. You want to do mitzvah, it comes and tells you, yeah, well, you're going to put on tefillin now? For what? For what? You think you're going to be able to? And the Yetzer Hara does two things. Okay? It attacks your future and your past. What does that mean? You want to put on tefillin. So comes the Yetzer Hara and says, yeah, you're going to put on tefillin? Like what? From now on, every day, no matter what, rain and shine, you're going to put on tefillin? You know you can't do that. You're not. You're not going to be able to maintain this. So why are you starting b'chlal? Forget it. Just go do something else. And then the phone goes, ding. Oh, I got to watch that. Like, why? You're not Trump. Or the Yetzer Hara says, oh, you want to put on tefillin. Now you want to be a big tzaddik. Aren't you the one that is on those funny videos doing things that you shouldn't be talking about? Aren't you the ones that went to the goat farm and they made fun of the animals and all these terrible things? Aren't you the ones that are kicking puppies, you know? No. You want to be a tzaddik? That's the past. Focusing on, look at where you are. You think you're going to be a tzaddik now? Or the Yetzer Hara focuses, you're going to maintain this? The fight, the way to win the Yetzer Hara is to always stay in the present. To say, today I'm putting on tefillin. Just today. And the Yetzer Hara says, well, do it tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow. When I wake up in the morning, we'll figure it out. But today, I'm putting on tefillin. And that's it. And therefore, you're not paying attention to the past. And you're not committing yourself for a life of tefillin wearing from this point forward. And you're just saying here. Self-control begins with now. Every streak, every winning streak has to begin at a certain point. And that point is now. You want to be a winner? Then start now. The one way the Yetzer Hara gets you, go, don't do it now, do it tomorrow. Just start tomorrow. It's already late. So start tomorrow. Wake up tomorrow and do it. And then you're like, okay, tomorrow, that's it. Right? You wake up in the morning, you're in bed laying like this, you know, your roommate is like, hey, did you sleep well? Like, dude, get out of my bed. Right? I don't know where I come up with these things sometimes. Maybe I'm in the wrong business. What do you think? We should charge a cover charge and 2 drinks minimum, you know? But the point is, in the morning when you say, okay, I'm going to start, then the Yetzer Hara goes, today you're going to start. It's already 9:30. Come on, you're going to be late to class, and you need to eat, and you have to shower. And when you shower, you know you have to sing for about 30, 40 minutes. I didn't say your name. Right, Sax? All right, gentlemen. I think this is all for today. We will start Mincha promptly.
Thank you.